Hey, MarkKing here, and here's an article from BBC. This is really about why do some protests turn violent. It's an interesting read. Some things I disagree with. This is by Hilaire Chong. Oh boy. I mean, that wasn't racist. I mean, hey, okay. So curfews have been imposed in multiple cities in the U.S. after unrest and protests have spread across the country over the death of a black again. Watch the wordings. George Floyd again. Why couldn't they say a man? Because if it's just a man who dies, nobody cares. If you put black in front of it or put woman, people tend to care. Okay, it's trained. It's gaslighting. Most of the protests began peacefully, and everything begins peacefully. This is nonsense. This is lies. Everything always begins peacefully. Okay, right? A peaceful ass kicking. Okay, everything starts peacefully, but in large number of cases, demonstrators clash with police, set cars on fire. Okay, usually when you see this stuff, they're prepared for these things. Okay, they're prepared to light things on fire. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It's in the back of bad people's mind to do these things. Okay, the National Guard has been activated, thankfully. Experts have also drawn parallels to the 2011 England riots, when peaceful protests of a man who was shot by police turned um, widespread. I'm curious about this. I have to see who this person was, what caused it. Let's go to the trusty but untrusty wiki. Let's see if they show a picture or. Okay, to the rats. Okay, how did it start? Okay, social media riots, police, Mark Dugan. Ah, there we go. I was wondering. All right, let's move on. Answer the question I had in my head. Anyway, you probably know the answer to the question I had in my head. How do protests spread so quickly, and why do some become violent? Protests spread when there's a shared identity. Incidents. That's the interesting word, identity, right? Incidents like Floyd's death have become a trigger moment because it symbolized the broader experience among such. Okay, so this person discounts communist ideology. This person, he discounts racial ideology. Okay, he seems to not make connections between how certain groups races act and how and the actions that they perform. I'll just leave it at that. So Professor Lutz studied the 2011 England riots extensively and found that the riots there spread the protests in different cities identify each other either because of their ethnicity, dislike of the police. This usually matches up 100% of the time. Again, victim groups are always looking for someone to blame but themselves. Okay? Again, like women, they get violent in different ways. They get violent through littering, okay? And doing words. Okay, they know they do not possess the strength. This group, they know they possess the strength, and women will intermingle themselves. And what they tend to do, right, women, what they tend to do in these groups, they tend to give approval to the males to commit violence, and because it's usually full of soy boys, they look for female approval. Okay, so this is kind of like what ignites a lot of violence when you see a lot of females in there. Okay, a lot of these beta males, they want female approval. Okay, for them it's as good as getting a hand job. Anyway, this is meant when the police appeared to be overwhelmed, rioters in different districts felt empowered. Right, so when the group feels empowered, they'll strike. Okay, now if the police, okay, so here's the thing, right? What this person wants to say, the police should step down and give them room to burn. Again, they did that. And hence the line, room to burn. Okay, this person is simply putting a spin job, and I actually respect the guy. I see where he's coming from. He's wrong. Okay, he's not. He mentioned it a little bit, but he's not accounting for the racial makeup of people. Okay, the ideological makeup when they're, how do we say, certain communist ideology. Okay. Okay, so a few people confront the police, right? They're like, they usually put to stoke the fires, right? It's like a plant. Imagine them like a plant, right? However, the police often react towards the crowd as a whole, as if people in that police force um, against them is unjustified. And this increases their us versus them mentality. Here's the thing, right? If you don't look strong, you look weak. Okay, these people will burn regardless. You need to give pushback to these people. Okay, you want to know if you're right or wrong? Look how quickly communist China crushes the sand. Okay, that's how you know you're right. Okay. Anyway, deploying the National Guard using rubber, tear gas, pepper spray, there are a range of police tactics that can. You're not going to give them room to burn, because we know what happens when you give them room to burn. What you need to is to give strength, and notice, like, when you see the troop, like police, the front line, it's always males. Women aren't found. Okay. All right. Women will stand and happily do a desk office duty that day. Okay. Right. People might come with crummy stats about women in the police force, but we all know what happens when times get tough. Okay. I'm not trying to disparage women in work in the police force. Okay. I'm glad that they're there, but clearly they don't belong in the front line. Okay. Anyway, Professor Stout argues that police force have invested in de-escalation. Here we go. So again, I talk about spin jobs. What the media will probably try to do is try to do more quote unquote training for the police, and it'll be more pushing towards doing stupid videos, waste time, pushing more social justice initiatives which waste time, and these social justice initiatives plant communist seeds. Okay, that's all these things do. Is done in the workplace, it'll do it in the police force, it's done in the army, it's done in the political groups, it's done in Hollywood, it's in journalism, it's in the education system. Okay, that's all this article is pushing right now. That's how I interpret it. This is actually a well written article. This person knows what they're writing, so it clearly has a brain. Anyway, it depends on what to say. Moral psychology, override concerns, peace. Research suggests that social media echo. Okay, so this is why the left, they organize on social media, and this is why Twitter is a far left organization, right? When Twitter bans people on the right, they basically create an echo chamber full of leftists, and leftists are flipping lunatics. Okay, I'm waiting for the right to riot. It hasn't happened yet. So anyway, in the U.S., hundreds of businesses have been damaged. Professor Stott warns it's easy to assume the rioting crowds are irrational. What the fuck? To some extent, looting an expression of power. Black citizens may have felt disempowered in relation to the police, but they feel disempowered because of the bad decision making, lack of responsibility. This is just a lie happening here. Okay? Again, maybe it's I come from a different base, or he's coming from a different base. One of us is wrong here. Okay? This has been done for 50, 60, 70 years. And they still riot. Okay? At some point, it's the person. Studies on previous riots show that places get looted often related to big businesses. They want free stuff because that's how they always grew up and that's how they live. They believe they're entitled when they see a hardworking person, hardworking black guy, hardworking white guy, hardworking woman, hardworking Asian, walking in nice business suits, and they wondering why they aren't like that. Because they spend time playing video games, smoking joints, okay, screwing whoever they have to instead of graduating high school. Okay, this is just not me talking angry. This is me seeing experience with people I know. Okay, this is what occurs in these communities. Okay, I grew up there. I know how it is. I know what goes on. Okay, 99.9% of everything is your own fault. Okay, 95%. Okay. Okay. He says there's long history of target selective in vandalism. Okay, this is where his the LR pricing you often see minority owned spray painted on minority businesses, so the people would just pass those by. However, both Stout and Hunt caution that looting is complicated. Poverty? No, 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 no. A lot of, again, this is how they lie, right? A lot of Asians, a lot of whites are in poverty. They don't loot, they don't destroy, they don't commit acts of violence, okay? As proportion to the urban groups, okay? They don't. So this is how you know this is a lie. This is a lie. Okay? Unless it's more in what these people say, this is a lie here. This is a manipulative lie. Okay? Okay, Hong Kong. Okay. Now this is very different now. These people are actually under oppression, okay? These people are oppressed, okay? Alright? And you know what these people do after? They actually clean up their own mess. These are what these people do in Hong Kong. This is what this story leaves out. Okay? If you see the protesters in Minnesota, it wasn't the rioters. It wasn't the rioters who cleaned up. It was the good citizens who didn't riot who cleaned up. This is very different ideology. This person's a biased liar. Okay, this entire article is nonsense, right? Because it's clearly lying. Okay, these are lies. Okay, these are journalisms. The way journalists lies is through omission. Okay, that's the way it goes. Vandalism was targeted at stores, strong connected to the mainland. How can violence be prevented? Public order experts say for the police being seen as legitimate and able to engage protesters. So they want dialogue. See, yeah, okay. I don't know what this person is talking about, right? People who want to commit acts of violence, there's no point in dialogue with them, okay? They'll do it no matter what. Okay, what you have to show is, again, strength and aggression, okay? If you look weak to the enemy, the group they show weakness to, they'll feel empowered. Okay, this is why, remember like a couple of months ago, when the U.S. Navy was Captain Admiral broke protocol because he broadcasted something in the open air. He let the communists know that there was a break in the chain of command. That shows weakness, okay? I'll take the U.S. Army over whatever this guy's pushing, okay? You don't negotiate with terrorists. This is like, okay, again, he's trying to compare actual communism to America, okay? He's trying to compare Asian people to, how do I say this? Sub Europeans. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. Again, this is just my opinions. I think this article is BS. It's nonsense. It's trying to push a narrative. It's the BBC. It's it's what's her name? Helia Chong. Okay, that's my belief system on this article. Right? It's trying to push a narrative, and the narrative is always police bad, victim groups good. All right, take care. Share, subscribe, thumbs up.